when a highly stylized comic collides with mounted machine guns, a game like SXPD can be the only result. But is the compelling art and the intriguing story enough to make this a must-own app? Stay tuned to find out. I'm Josh, and this is what's happening.
2 parts graphic novel, 1 part precision dogfight simulator, SXPD can be a hard game to categorize. Striking comic book panels tell of a dystopian future in which America's 52nd state, New Royale, is locked in a struggle for survival against terrorists that would see the state reduced to rubble. Stepping up to defend this fictitious paradise for the super rich are the femme fatales of the SXPD, of which the player is a proud member. If that setup sounds enticing, then good, because the vast majority of your time in this app will be spent swiping panels, watching an admittedly neat transition, and taking in more beautiful art. The game does break up this formula, however, by seamlessly transitioning from the passive third-person perspective of the reader to a high-octane first-person view of the action atop Number 21's motorcycle. This is where things get interesting. Number 21's ride is fairly simple to understand controls. Tilt your iPad right or left to change your direction, hold one thumb on the screen to use your motorcycle-mounted machine guns, swipe that thumb up to launch rockets when available, and place both thumbs on the screen to enable your boost. Executing these maneuvers, however, is substantially more difficult than it sounds. The slightest shift in your iPad's orientation has swift and dramatic in-game repercussions. A 5-degree turn of the iPad translates into roughly a 10 or 15-degree turn in-game. A markup that will throw off your missile targeting, keep your bullets from finding their mark, and see you boosting straight into walls. At first, this drastic increase is very hard to handle, but once you get used to it, it allows for hairpin turns and actually adds to the frantic feel of the action. To help you achieve this sense of control, the app has a fairly extensive tutorial that really does a great job of getting you comfortable with the game's mechanics.
At first I thought it was a little strange to see that SXPD was an iPad-only app, but after some hands-on time with the mechanics, I came to really appreciate the added heft of the iPad in my hands. I actually think that the game would be even harder to control on the more easily jostled iPhone. I'm sure the developer was also thinking about optimizing the storybook component to the app via the iPad's larger screen, but for me, the added sense of weight was imperative. This game's largest barrier to entry is definitely the initial shock of the controls, but it also doesn't set out to do you any favors. This game is hard and comes with a massive difficulty spike towards the very end, stemming mostly from the fact that it becomes a little difficult to tell what you can and can't collide with, as you can see here. Add to that the fact that most of the screen is occupied with telling you exactly how terrible you're doing when you're low on health, and you have a real recipe for irritation. However, this game is too short to become truly repetitive. While spread out over 6 chapters, they really act more as checkpoints than anything else, and the longest I ever spent on one was 20 minutes. There is an arcade mode for a bit of added replay value, but I don't really see anyone spending more than a couple of hours with this app. SXPD is the most visually striking app I've ever seen. The art is just extremely engrossing. Everything from the nightmare-inducing baby-faced grunts to the most inconsequential character model is highly stylized, and you can tell that there is a much larger backstory and vision at play here. I only hope that those things are further realized in the app's future iterations. Officially dubbed SXPD Episode 1 The Rookie, the developer has all but promised a continuing story, and I, for one, am excited to see where it leads. If you are at all interested in the concept or look of this game, I implore you to give it a go. You will not be disappointed. If you're just looking for a solid shooter, though, I can't really say that there is much here to draw you in. While the gameplay is fun and eventually strikes a perfect balance between challenging and frustrating, I just don't think that there is enough of it to warrant a purchase.
Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really do appreciate it. Let me know what you thought of this review and of this game if you picked it up down below in the comments. Also, feel free to let me know what game you would like to see reviewed on the show in future episodes. But even if you don't do that, I want to thank you once more for watching this one and tell you that I will see you on the next What's APPenin in 2 weeks. Every other Thursday, this show is hitting your timeline as long as you subscribe to this channel with a fresh new app for you to take a peek at. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you all then.